Hey everybody, welcome back to another edition of the Free Exchange of Ideas with me, John. So today is Wednesday, and so it's mostly my political day. One of the things that I've been seeing nationwide as well as here in California is the attempt to make a mileage tax, meaning you would have to pay taxes on every mile you drove your vehicle. Now, the state of California already has the highest taxes, one of the largest tax bases in the United States, and they can't seem to balance their budget anyway. The biggest issue for me is the bullet train. That's one of them. We are spending money on that, and it is literally going nowhere. Nothing's being done at this time, and it doesn't have anything to do with the weather. Nothing has been done for a year or more on this program. There's no more EIR reports, which is Environmental Impact Report. There's no more of those right now because they've already done for the entire transit from Sacramento, San Francisco, Fresno, Bakersfield, Los Angeles. I think there's a couple of stops in the Orange County area, and then down into San Diego, San Bernardino area. So yeah, I have a real problem with that one. But to go beyond that, this tax is supposed to be for not road improvement, not additional roadways to help alleviate congestion, but it's supposed to go to a good portion of this new tax is going to go to public transportation. Now, currently, public transportation in California is subsidized by about 85%, meaning your ticket is subsidized, the mechanics' wages and the train pilots their wages are subsidized, maintenance for those trains, those tracks, that's all subsidized. And so, and mass transit is subsidized by the state. There's some federal dollars, but not very much. Now, one of the things you might not know about California, and I don't know if many other states do this, but it seems like it would be a particularly easy way to do what they want to do, is take money that they say goes one place and then shift it to the general fund, which is a different account. And so they'll take the lottery money is a great example of this. The lottery, when it first came on, said, almost all the proceeds of lottery sales, ticket sales, will go to funding schools and funding teachers and that kind of thing. Sorry, hold on just 1 second. There we go. And that was great. Everybody loved that idea. They voted for it. We got the lottery. 2 years, maybe 3 years into the lottery running, almost 50% of the proceeds were shifted to the general fund. Now, the general fund is money that they can use for whatever reason, or no reason at all, to do what they want. The general fund is one of the places where they started the bullet train. It's where they used that money to pay for the exploratory committee to go to Japan, and I think there was one other place they went that explored bullet trains. Now, you got to understand, the bullet train in Japan goes from one place to another. There's no stops in between, unless you're making a single stop in a city. And those bullet trains, because of lack of stops, and because they've made it as straight as possible with very large banked turns in it so they can maintain speed, that it can actually get up to 200 miles an hour and maintain that speed for quite some time. Here in California, they have created stops enough just in the state of California that the train will never reach its maximum speed without blowing through stops. It can't reach its maximum speed and then slow down enough to make its next stop. That's something you should probably think about. That's called acceleration, and then momentum, and then deceleration, right? But it's not like a spaceship where you accelerate hard out of the atmosphere and then shut the engines down and coast on your momentum with very little resistance, almost no resistance, other than gravity. And then so all you're really doing is adjusting your trajectory. You're not using your main engines for thrust. You're just adjusting trajectory. And so that when you get to your destination, you can turn the ship around, use your main thrusters to back in, and then hook up if that's what you need to do. Here, you don't really have that opportunity. Your your acceleration from zero can be foot to the floor, but it's going to push a bunch of people back into their seats deeply. Now, when you do that, it's like a fighter pilot. All right, you get G-forces on your person, and if you take a bullet train, foot to the floor, try to get up to 200 miles an hour, you're looking at 2.5 to 3 Gs. I'm not a young man. I do not want to, and we're talking for over an hour, 2 to 3 Gs for an hour. I'm not a young man. I do not want to take that kind of pressure on my system, on top of the fact that at that point I won't be able to do any work, which is the point of the bullet train, so that you can commute from Sacramento, San Francisco to LA. That was the original lie. Sacramento, San Francisco to LA, and you'd be able to do all your work. The only time you'd be able to do any work is during your coast and then deceleration. And even then, the deceleration would probably cause 1.5 plus negative G. So now you're leaning forward in straps. Or no straps, you're just leaning forward against the table. So, and we're not, just the regular people here, we're not trained fighter pilots. We don't have any of that training. So you don't know how to make your body react so that you don't have any issues. That's a problem for me. Now, getting back to the mileage tax. Right now, California has the highest fuel tax in the nation. I think we pay close to $3. Sorry, not close to $3. Close to $1.25 per gallon in taxes. Now, that tax is supposed to be for infrastructure. And again, when you take a portion of that and you throw it to your general fund, you take away your ability to maintain your infrastructure properly, because now you don't have the cash that you were supposed to have to pay the budget for roadways, for electrical, for any of that, right? So what California's decided to do is, we'll just add a mileage tax. Now, if you drive an electric vehicle, you probably saw this coming, and I can kind of understand it. But if you drive an ICE engine vehicle, which is an internal combustion engine, runs on gasoline, you are not only paying the almost $1.50 in taxes at the gas pump, now you're paying, and I think they said 4 to 6 cents a gallon. A mile. 4 to 6 cents a mile. Now, it doesn't sound like a lot. But when you put it in full year terms, 4 cents a mile is about $600 a year. And 6 cents a mile is going to be close to $900 a year. Now, that's an average of 15,000 miles a year driven. Me personally, I actually drive quite a bit more than that for my 2 jobs. And I use my 2 jobs to help survive the California taxes and other fees that they've elected to place on us. We have, what do you call them? We have toll roads, which double as diamond lane roads or high occupancy vehicle roads, HOV lanes. Now, HOV lanes are free for people that used to be just 2 passengers or 1 passenger, right? Driver passenger, and you're free. But now, because they've made this an integrated roadway with the toll lanes. The toll lanes run from 5 a.m. to 8 p.m. all day, except Saturday and Sunday. 5 a.m. to 8 p.m. it's a toll road. So if I want to pay the toll, I can get on that road. I can get on that lane and do my thing. But if I'm actually carrying a passenger or two. If I'm carrying if there's two passengers in the vehicle, driver passenger, then there's a discount on your toll charge. But if there's 3 people in the vehicle, then it's free. Well, I don't know very many people that live in the same town and go to the same workplace that are willing to go that far. Hold on just one second. I'm going to pause this, I hope. And we're back. All right, good. It was just a pause. So, I find that to be high treason, high robbery, highway robbery as well. Now, treason is a big word, and it has some serious connotations. But let me just throw this at you. In San Diego County alone, they are going to get $160 billion for high-speed rail. I just explained high-speed rail to you. San Diego County is much smaller than the state. High-speed rail is maybe tops 60 miles an hour. There isn't enough space for them to get higher than that. And again, you're pushing people back into their chair, older people, younger people, people with asthma or COPD or high blood pressure. Those are not good moves for them. So they're going to want to avoid that high-speed rail or the high-speed transit. That's in San Diego County alone. In this state, in the state of California, we have the highest fuel taxes. We have the highest fuel prices because we have different blends for winter versus summer, and it's just not cheap to do that kind of thing, which annoys me. The mileage tax is just, for me, it's just so out of the realm of possibility, or should be out of the realm of possibility, because I mean, not only do we have the highest taxes already in the state, and they are not supporting our roadways, and this rain that these rainstorms that we've had have literally chewed up our roadway just from the rain and traffic. We have on Highway 101 from where I work to where I live, there is 3 lanes of asphalt and 1 lane of concrete. And the asphalt lanes have just been beat to death with this rain that we've had. They've made no effort to repair these roadways in the Bay Area, because honestly, it's not just that highway. That's just the highway that I happen to drive every day. But I've driven other highways in this area, and they're all being beat up like that. And there's no program to start repairing that roadway currently. And this new money that they're trying to create out of this tax is not supposed to go to the roadways. It's not supposed to go to capital improvements like adding another roadway or anything like that. No, it's supposed to go straight to high-speed rail or mass transit. That's about it. Not only do we have the highest sales tax, just sales tax in general, in the country, we also have the highest VAT, which is value-added tax. Now, they don't call it value-added tax because then, that would be a whole different political ball to manage. But what it is a second tax on automobiles, a second tax on weapons. It's a second tax on a boat or anything that's of great value. You're paying regular sales tax, then you're paying that value-added tax. It's kind of like a hotel. When you go to a hotel, you pay the sales tax of the city that you're in, plus a hotel tax of upwards of 15%. Think about that. Why does the state need more money for the hotel? I mean, I get the hotel needs more money, but that's why you pay $50 a night or $100 a night, depending on what hotel you're staying in, right? There's no reason for a second tax for anything. I don't believe in toll roads. If we're already taxing people at the level that we're taxing them just to drive their cars, there should be plenty of money to maintain our roadways. I don't know where it is. Also, let's see. Oh, okay. So one of the first things that happened in this move toward mileage taxes is that one of the first things they did was said, oh, you know what? We want to get rid of ICE engine vehicles, internal combustion engine vehicles, by 2035. No new internal combustion vehicle sales in the state of California. It has to be all electric or hybrid. The Toyota Mirai, which right now is a hybrid hydrogen electric drivetrain, I should say. They don't pay any of that tax because I don't know what the tax is on hydrogen because I don't use it, and it's really very rare to find a hydrogen fuel pump station. The only extra tax that a Tesla owner or a hybrid owner with plug-in hybrid pays is the electricity that they require at their home to charge their vehicle. Now, I work at a place that has those chargers, and everybody that has an electric vehicle comes here and charges it while they're at work, so they don't have to pay that extra electrical on their home, or get the charger and stuff. You got to bump up your service to 220. You have to have them install their proprietary charging unit and all that good stuff, and it's just, I suppose it's not a pain in the ass if you can afford a $100,000 electric vehicle, but for the rest of us, Nissan Leaf, I can't afford a specific thing for the Nissan Leaf on my house, or another 220 service. That's just dumb. Now, 220 service means what you normally get at your house. I know if you don't know this. If you do know this, you can zip through this part. But if you get regular service at your house, your regular service is going to be 110 volts, and I think it's 50 amps or something like that. So 110 volts, 50 amps, or 60 amps. Sorry, 110 volts, 60 amps. 220 is like if you have a washer dryer. Dryers mostly run on 220 because it's straight electrical to heat that thing up. So it draws a lot of juice. So your 220 service is at 110 volts, I think. Might be 120. I honestly don't recall for certain. Or amps. I'm sorry, amps, not volts. Because you're running 220 volts at 120 amps. Meaning you probably won't blow that circuit unless there's something seriously wrong with your dryer, or you have power tools that require hefty electrical surges and things. So, but if you're not charging your car at your house, you're driving for free in essence. So the state of California says, well, we lost a lot of money in when we started going electrical, or started going electric vehicles. Now, the funny thing is, I remember when they passed the law to get more electric vehicles into the state, and they said, oh, this will be a great thing for the state. And now they're saying, well, we lost a lot of money due to so many electric vehicles being on the road and so not taking gasoline, so we lost a lot of that gas tax money. Well, actually, they didn't. Before they raised the tax, and up until pandemic, the amount of money they were making was going up every year. And then we started, Tesla really made the big difference, I think, in electrical vehicles because, one, their vehicle is all electric, and two, people really liked that car, and so they started selling. Unlike not to say anything bad about any of these other vehicles, the Toyota Prius, the Nissan Leaf, the Ford electric vehicles, GMC electric vehicles, not to say anything bad about them, but yeah, they're making a little bit of a dent. But gasoline sales taxes are still rising. The proceeds from gasoline sales taxes are still rising. As a matter of fact, they cleared over $7 million last year. $7 million in gas taxes last year. 7 million or 7 billion? I honestly don't recall. It's either million or billion, but it's a boatload of money, and we still can't get our roads fixed. I'm starting to feel like they honestly believe they know better, and this is for our good, which is a load of crap. It's about power. It's about control. Because one of the other things I also read about this morning, and I know this is running long, I apologize, but there's a lot of stuff here. One of the things I heard about this morning was also they want, the California legislature wants to make a law that will force auto manufacturers to put tracking devices in your vehicle so that when they want to find out how many miles you've gone, they can just go plug in, it'll download the information to a device and then upload it to the cloud and then be downloaded to Sacramento, and they can say, oh, you drove 30,000 miles last year. You're going to owe us a bunch of money. Rather than you just being able to report it, which makes sense because I know a bunch of people would underreport. I'm probably one of those people because I drive a lot of miles. Nonetheless, that's, in my opinion, a form of a Fourth Amendment violation to be secure in my person, papers, residence, and property. The fact that I'm out in public does not preclude me from being able to say, no, you don't need that information from my vehicle. Just because you made a text doesn't mean I have to give you information on my vehicle. Now, if you don't give them that information, if they have this little device in your car, they could probably just walk by it with Bluetooth and recover that information, or RFID readers. I'm just throwing stuff out there. Nonetheless, so if you live in California, like me, I want you to go to stopthemileagetax.com. I am not being paid any kind of promotion for this in any way, shape, or form, but I drive a gasoline powered engine vehicle. Sorry. And I don't want anybody to be able to track my vehicle. 1, track my vehicle. 2, track my mileage. Or 3, charge me just to drive. I'm already being charged a shit ton of money through my gas taxes, through my home taxes that are not going where they said they were going originally. Now I get it. Originally things change. But when you don't even wait like a reasonable or decent sum of time, the lottery tax, 3 years, they were going, half of it was going right to the general fund. They didn't have any idea what they're going to do with it, but they needed it in the general fund. Schools didn't need it. We don't have to pay the schools. They're already paying the schools. We don't need to give them any more money. So you see what we're dealing with here in California. I am really preparing hard to move out of this state. I don't trust this state. I'm beginning not to trust. I don't trust the federal government to do what the Constitution says it can do, which is only a few things. That's something you should pay more attention to as well. Because I don't care if you don't like guns. I don't care if you think we should capitulate to police just in general. There are times when I will, and there are times when I will not. But I will always fall back on my constitutional rights. First, second, third. That's the third one is you can't billet troops in my home without my permission. The Fourth Amendment, Fifth Amendment, and the 14th Amendment. Those cover everything you ever need to really know. The 14th Amendment is really about your rights in general and covers who is a citizen and who is not a citizen in general. And in that is also the I'm sorry, I've forgotten. I'll put it in there. I'll put it in the description box. So if you're from California, if you live in California, you should really look at stopthemileagetax.com. Look at it, make your decision based on what your knowledge and what your gut tells you. And if you think a mileage tax is a good idea, don't sign that petition. But if you really think that we're already overpaying taxes and not getting services that we're paying for, then sign the petition, especially if you're a registered voter. Well, if you're not a registered voter, they'll toss your signature, but you have to be a registered voter in California to sign this petition and have your signature carry any weight. That's all I got for you. I'm sorry that was a little disjointed, and I did throw in a couple of other things there, but all of it was important, and it came back to the main point, which was we're already being taxed too much in the state of California, and our money is not going where it's supposed to be going. So, that being said, remember, even fluffy bunny rabbits have teeth and claws for a reason. Live long, fight hard, win the day. See ya!